Khan. So first and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, right? Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Barakathum to all the family out there. Salute to all the family out there and blessings, peace and blessings into your family, right? Peace and blessings into your family, man, and the families out there, man, right? Salute to the brothers that's keeping these commandments, man, building themselves up to go out there and shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect, man. Shalom and big salute to the sisters out there that's being keepers at home, right? Chase, right? Discreet, teachers of good things, right? And modest in their apparel, man. Shalom to those sisters, man, that reverence their husband, right? And take care of their household in righteousness, right? Salute to all the children out there, right? Being good listeners, right? Not driving their parents up the wall and knowing when to speak and not interrupting their family and the adults in the midst of their speech, right? So today, right, is another Shabbat, right, where we can learn these laws, study these laws, and figure out how to be closer to the Most High, man. You know. So today we'll be going over Leviticus, right? Y'all can take down a notepad. Today we'll be going through Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1 to chapter 15 and verse 33, right? And we'll be going through Isaiah 66, verse 1 to verse 24. And we'll be going through Luke, right? This would be the Gospels. We'll be going through Luke chapter 2, verse 22 to verses 35. And we'll be going through Mark chapter 1 and verse 35 to 45, right? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pull this up. And Salakia, man, bear with me. I'm going to be doing the Shabbat services alone for the most part. And it's not easy, right? So be patient with me. All right, so this is what we'll be going into. All right. Let me send this where I need to send this. Give me a second. And post it where I need to post it. And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Because as much Israel as we can, we need them to be able to see this video, man. Get some knowledge on the law, statutes, and commandments. In a couple seconds. Shabbat service. All right. Share this thing on all platforms, man. It really help a lot. That's the least you could do. If you want to donate, I'll put that on the screen. But even if you can't donate, man, at least brothers and sisters could do is share, like, and subscribe. All right. Let me see where else I want it. All right, that's pretty much good. See you now. On all platforms, man, it really help a lot. That's the least you can do. That's right. If you want to donate, all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. The audio is good. All right. All right, so now I'm getting into it. This is the book of Leviticus, right? Chapter 12 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation of her infirmity, shall she be unclean. So in these 7 days, right, she's gonna be unclean to where she needs to be set apart, just like when she's on her menstrual cycle. She needs to be in her own little area where she could become clean, because she'll be, after birth, if anybody have kids, it's a lot of blood that goes down um, after having a baby, right? And it says, and the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. So, as we know, according to Torah, right, our son need to be circumcised on the 8th day, and we know that, the baby develops this vitamin called vitamin K on the 7th day, right? So on that 8th day, he's good to be able to, to bleed and heal himself. Vitamin K is a vitamin that we have in our body that helps us to scab up, and uh, uh, that helps us to scab up and heal, to where we don't, the blood is not thin. It actually clots up where it needs to clot up so the body could heal, right? So, and that's what science says. See, but the Lord already had this thing broken down, to where he knows on the 7th day we get these chemicals in our body that way we're able to heal. Plus, 7th day, 7 is the number of perfection, right? And 8 is the number of infinity, right? So let's keep reading. And it says, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days, right? Because here and there, she'll start spotting again, right? And the cloud might all the way not stay in there, kind of a bit of information, but it'll come another point where, maybe she get back on her flower again. But the Lord said 33 days, nevertheless, right? So 40 days, a woman cannot be in the sanctuary, right? Let's read it right quick. She shall not touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, right? Until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. Okay, let's get this word sanctuary, right? Because this is a sensitive topic, man, especially going, with how the emotions are going and stuff like that when a woman is on her cycle, or when a woman is has just had a baby. We know that women deal with postpartum. We have to be real sensitive on how we talk to them, on how we break down scriptures and what they can't do and can do. So just so Israel can know, when your woman is in her days of purification after a kid, she cannot come to camp. She cannot come to new moons. She cannot come to Passover. No hallowed day, right? Because that'll be a sanctuary, right? Let's get this. It says
Strong's H 4720. Mikdash. Mikdash.
it says Mikdash, right? Mikdash, right? That's the word for sanctuary. Now it says sanctuary, right? Holy place, right? Chapel, hallowed part, right? Let's get into it a little bit more, right? Sacred place, right? A holy place, a set apart place, man, right? And that's that the holy place. You see that? A holy place. And that would be camp, and that would be anywhere that we have in our holy feast days, right? Our set apart feast days, or our holy gatherings, that we make that place. That's why he told Moses, right? Um, give me a second. Give me a second. That's why he told Moses, right, in Exodus, right, 3 and 5, right? Let's see what he told Moses. All right. He said, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and 4. And when the Lord, right, and when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, Yahweh called unto him out of the midst of the bush, right? And we know this was Yahweh Shah, right? Yahweh Shah called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here am I. Draw nigh, right? And Yahweh Shah said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground, right? Holy ground, set apart ground, right? This is a sanctified, man, a dedicated ground, man. You know, unto the Lord, man. So where we hold camp at, right? Where we hold camp at, that's a set apart ground, man. That's a holy ground, man. Where we teach the sheep, man. You know, let's see, Kodesh, right? For us, it would be Kodash, right?
Strong's H 6944. Kodesh. Kodesh.
Kodesh, right? Sanctuary, holy, hallowed, right? Things, most holiness, right? Consecrated, right? Dedicated. You feel what I'm saying? Apartness, holiness, sacredness, set apartness, sacred, holiness, right? This place where we hold camp, man, or where we do feast days, that's holy places, man. You know, so when a woman is in her days of her purification and she had a man child or a woman child, right, she cannot come to these places, man. You know, and it's not because we don't want them there. We always want y'all around us, man. We love having our women around us for the holy days, for the Shabbat days and things like that. But if you're unclean, right, it would be meat for you not to come out, man. Right? It'd be good for you not to come out. Right? Because that way we keeping this hollow place hollow, man, set apart, you know. And it says, we read that already, 4, right? But once again, let's read it one more time, right? Leviticus 12 and 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days. So 33 days, 7 days for the purifying of the blood, right? Of let's read it right quick. My bad. I might be stumbling over words, right? So it says, and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. That's her uncleanliness, right? But then she should be in the blood of her purifying, right? 3 and 30 days. And she shall touch no hallowed thing, right? She shall touch no dedicated thing, man. Right? Let's get that word hallowed, man. It's a dedicated thing, man, right? So that would also be your man, right? You don't want to be touching on your man and stuff like that when he got to go hold camp or do what he need to do, man. Right? Because now you make him unclean, unholy, right? See, hallowed thing, the same thing as a holy, man, right? Apartness, holy, sacredness, set apartness, right? Of God, of places, man. For what I'm saying? So, it's just something that, you know, the Lord has commanded for us to do and not do, man. So don't get sensitive because you can't touch your man while you're unclean. You know, when he got to go to camp or go do different businesses and offices for the Most High, you know, you can't get upset, right? It said, nor come unto the sanctuary until the days of our purifying be fulfilled. So you have to wait, man. You know, you have to wait till those 40 days are up, huh? Right? And that's not a bad thing, man. That's a righteous thing, man. Me and my wife had to do it for 2 kids. You feel what I'm saying? I got a man child and I got a maid child. You know, the maid child was a little bit easier. I mean, was a little bit harder than the man child because when I had my son, it was we already knew that we went 80 days, we could go 40. So it was a little bit easier. So Leviticus 12:5. But if she bear a maid child, right? If she bear a woman child, right? Let's get that word just for the Israelites that hasn't been in this truth for long. All right, let's get this maid child, right? Let's get into it.
Strong's H 5347.
Mm-hmm.
Nekeva.
Mm-hmm.
Nekeva.
Nakaba, right? Nakaba, right? And a paleo, right? A female, right? A female maid child, right? Female woman child, right? Woman, female child, right? So that's what that's about. A maid child is a woman child, right? Starting again, right? But if she bear a maid child, a woman child, right, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks. So instead of 7 days, it'll be 2 weeks, right? As in her separation, right? That'll be that big time separation, where she need to be set apart, just like when she on her flower, right, for 2 weeks, right? And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying, right, 66 days, meaning 66 days, right? 60 is the word for 60. All right, let's go get that. I know we have newcomers. We have people that have not been in the faith for long, or just might be scrolling through the channel and want to know what we're actually saying, right? So
Strong's H 8346. Shishim.
Mm-hmm.
Shishim.
Shishim, right? Shishim. What is that? 60 days, right? 60, right? 60 days, right? So it'd be 66 days, right? So that'd be 80 in total because 2 weeks is what? 14 days, right? 2 weeks, 14 days, right? So 80 days, she had to be separate and not touch any hallowed thing, man, when she has a female child, right? And this is kind of this is the part where Yahushua come into play, right? So I'm gonna read this, Leviticus 12:6. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest. Right. So then the priest will have to bless that child, man, right? Because in Exodus, right? In Exodus, it tells us that we need to everything that openeth the matrix, right, is for the Lord, man. Especially your firstborn, right? Mm-hmm. And for the things that we can't kill and offer to the Lord, we have to because the Lord don't want an offering of a horse, man. That's an unclean animal. He don't want that, right? So this is the book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 12, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord, right, unto Yahweh, all that openeth the matrix. You see? And it says, thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, right? And every firstling that cometh out of beasts which thou hast, right, the males shall be the Lord's, man. The male shall be Yahweh's, man, right? But it says, all that openeth the matrix, male, woman, your firstborn, your 10th born, right? We got to set apart all of them, right, for the Lord, man. right? So we're gonna have to make that offering for every child that opened at the matrix, right? And this is the way that we do it, right? Also, what Leviticus is going into, but it stems from this, right? And it says, "In every firstling of an ass, thou shalt redeem with the lamb," right? So the firstling of an ass, since we can't offer an ass, right? Let's see what an ass is. Some people think it's just a curse word, right? But we know that an ass is a
Strong's
donkey
H
or a horse,
2543.
right?
Chamor. Chamor.
Hamor,
And the
right?
form just below that, chamor.
Hamor,
Chamor.
right? Right? He ass, right? Hamor, right? A male ass, right? Let's see if it's gonna tell us right here. See if it'll tell us right here. All right. Well, let's go to it on Google, man. All right, it's not that hard. I'll find out what an ass is today, man. All right. Let's see what it gives you, man. All right. See, that's what the damn heathens want you to think it is, right? But it tells you an animal of an horse family, right? Which is typically smaller than a horse, and it has a longer ears, right? And a brain call, right? So it's a type of horse, man. You know, it would be a donkey, right? It would be a donkey and things of that sort, man. You know, you have a miniature horse that'll be considered an ass, right? And so yeah, let's go back to Leviticus, man. That's a lock Israel. Y'all know Esau, man. He always have some craziness going on, you know, when it comes to these different words, right? But we know that the real meaning of an ass is a horse, right? Or a type of horse, right? Where we're at. All right, so that's why a lamb has to be offered, because everything that openeth the matrix is the Lord's, man. Right? He have redeemed all of us and everybody that comes out of the womb of a woman, right? From the loins of a man. He have bought all of us with that price, man. That he had with that price that he did up in Exodus 12, man. Right? He bought all of us, man. So now we have to continually, you know, make that offering for our kids, you know, when they open in the matrix. So, and what we can do though is when a brother have a kid, man, and their days are up, you know, we might do that for Taza Yatan, right? We'll roast a lamb, man. You know, we'll roast a lamb, and you know, we wouldn't be the priest, you know, giving the offering, you know, before the tabernacle or whatever. But you know, we could kind of like rehearse these righteous acts, man, in this kingdom, man, in this wretched ass kingdom, man. You know. And it says, I'm gonna read this again. And it says, when the days of her purifying, Salakia, when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the Lord, Salakia, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, right? So the priest could do his due diligence on making her and that child clean again, right? Making her clean again and making that child be set apart unto the Lord, man, right? Who shall offer it before Yahweh and make an atonement for her, right? And she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood, right? Now she's clean to come around the sanctuary, man. Now she's clean to come into camp, man. Now she's clean to come into the holy days, right? Because the atonement for her sins has been made, man. And that ultimate atonement, right, is Yahweh Shah. All right. Khan, give me a second, Yasharala. Right? I can't find what I want. But Yahweh Shah is that ultimate atonement, man. Is that atonement for our sins, man. Right? But just as a party, man, you know, when her days are up for her to be cleansed, man, we could go grab a little lamb, you know, and roast that lamb over fire for her, and we could break bread, man, because she made it through her days of her purification, man. You know, it'd just be another celebration, you know, for that child, man. Because we love our family, man. We love Yasharala. So we want to do as much as we can to show that we love them, man. You know. So, and it'll be a celebration because now our sister could come back into, you know, the camp days. She could come out, you know, the new moon. She could come out, and it's a celebration, man. That she's now clean and able to come to all these holy gatherings, man. So that might be a thing that we do in K.O.Y. You know, Lord willing, we stay, you know, we stay fervent and on fire, man. And this is what we're gonna do for our people, man. Whenever we have new babies come into this organization, man, and into Yasharala, and ultimately in Yahweh, right? And if she be not, let me read this one more time. So like, I know I'm long-winded, y'all. So, who shall offer it before Yahweh? The priest is gonna offer it before Yahweh and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that hath born a male or female, right? And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles, right? Or 2 pigeons, right? The one for the burnt offering and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean, right? And when it says 2 turtles, I don't want to misspeak, but let's go find out, because we can't eat turtle, so it can't be 2 turtles, right? It'll be 2 turtle doves, right? Because the Lord, if we can't eat something, the Lord don't want it, right? See, turtle dove, it dove, right? We can't take these words and think that that's what it's talking about. Nah, brother, putting a damn turtle on the altar, man. You know. So it says, and if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles, right? 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering and the other for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her, right? And she shall be clean. And that's why it's a turn up, man. You know, we have that lamb because it's a turn up, man. Now you clean, man. Now you could come back around, come to everything that we do, you know, all the gatherings. And you know, I want to say all that we read is what we do and hear, man. Right? So let's go to the next chapter. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13 and verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in his Salakia, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, right? Some type of boil, right? Some type of infirmity, you know, it would be a boil, right? Some type of infirmity, right?
Strong's H 7613. Se'ath. Se'ath.
Sa'ath, right? Sa'ath, right? Kind of rising, right? Elevation, right? Elevation, exaltation, swelling, uprising, right? So some type of swelling, man, some type of elevation, right, in the skin, some type of swelling, right? So you got to watch out for that, man. You might be unclean, right? So it says, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, you got to look for all that, man, right? Because these things happen, you know. And to be honest, man, it's a judgment for from the Lord, man. Right? For you to get a spot, a rising in the flesh, right? A rising in the flesh, right? A scab or a bright spot, man. That's a judgment, man. That's a blemish, right? And the Lord said, "What, man? Let thy garment be always right, man." And you got to be that Salaki. Khan. Let's go grab that right quick. Right? Because we want our garment, man. We want our body to be always white, man. You know, the Lord wants a pure sacrifice, not a sacrifice with a blemish, man. All right. And our body is a sacrifice, man. All right. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 8. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Right? And then it says, matter of fact, let's start at 7. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, man. Eat these scriptures with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, man. Find out the wisdom of the scriptures, right, and the prophecies with a merry heart, man. For Yahweh now accepted thy works, man. So now that we repented, man, the Lord is looking for us to have these things, man, right? To always want to go in the word, man, and figure out what's going on in here, man. So we got to eat our bread. The scripts is our bread, man, and drink thy wine, man. Thy wine is the wisdom, man, the prophecies, right? And then he said, for Yahweh now accepted thy word. So now that we come back into the truth, Yahweh accepting all our good works, man. You know, when we're in the world, man, we think, oh, yeah, I'll give you the shirt off my back, man. We think the Lord's seeing that, man. I mean, he's seeing that, but when we come into the truth, we got a magnifying glass on us. And the Lord is seeing our works, and he's giving us pats on the back, man, for our works, man. We're storing up treasures in heaven because of our works, man. Right? And it says, let thy garments be always white, man. So let your doings, man, be always white, man. Your garment is your doings, right? So we need to let our doings be always white, man, always pure, man. When we do things, we want to do it out of the pureness of our heart. When we give unto the brotherhood, you know, and give unto the brethren, we want it to be out of the pureness of our heart, man, right? And let Salaki, and let thy head lack no ointment, right? Let thy head lack no ointment, man. Live joyfully with thy wife, whom thou lovest, all the days of the life of thy vanity, right? I'm gonna read that one more time. Salakia. Live joyfully with thy wife, whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, right? Which he had given thee under the sun. So our life is vanity, and that's what Solomon goes into in Ecclesiastes, right? Is how much we put a lot of work on life, and this little life that we live, this blink of an eye, according to the Most High, and we put a lot of emphasis on this thing, man. And Yahweh Shai, man, right through Solomon, is telling us that we need to enjoy our wife, man. We need to enjoy our wife, man, in our life of vanity, man, right? Because they're gonna be that rest, man. They're gonna be our help, man. And we need to show them that love, care, and concern that the Lord shows to us, man. It says all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, man. Right. So in the life that we live, that we see that's temperate, right? Well, that's temporary, right? We need to enjoy that, man, with our ribs, man, with our family, right? And in thy labor which thou takest under the sun, man. Right. So all in all, man, what we do need to do is keep our doings white, man. Right. Because the Lord is looking for that sacrifice that's without blemish, man. Come on, let's go get that. Right. Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. And Salaki, Akim, man, I'm just going through the spirit, man. You know. So it says, Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, right? Holy and acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service, man, right? And this is a way to do that, right? Be not conformed unto this world, man. So when you're doing the things of this world, man, your garment ain't white, man. You're not pure, right? So we got to make sure that we're trying to get out of this world. We don't want to be of the world, man, depending on society to save us, man. Right? We need to depend on Yahweh Shem Yahushua to save us, man. So it says, "Be not conformed unto this world." This is how you make your body a living sacrifice. You separate yourself from the world, and now you're like that sheep for Passover, right? That lamb for Passover that gets separated from the sheep and the goats, man, right? And now you're a holy sacrifice unto the Lord, man, right? But be ye, Salaki, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, right? What is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh, man. Right? So that's how you make your body a living sacrifice, man, by doing that good, right? The law, man, and then that acceptable. What's acceptable unto the Most High? Not you trying to figure out how to do things your own way, man, right? Or bending the law for this and that, man. But it is good and acceptable, man, right? And perfect, right? How you be perfect? By keeping the laws of the Most High, man. According to I believe it's uh Psalms 119 and 142, right? Let me see. Let's go get it. No, Salakia is Psalms 19 and 7. All right. Salakia, this is what I'm looking for. It says the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. So as we see, the law of the Lord was perfect, right? And then when we was in Romans, right? Romans 12, right? So when we was in Romans, the 12th chapter, it tells you what? Salaki Israel, I know I could have did that better. Now it says what? And perfect will of Yahweh, man. And it's our will because of this, right? Because keeping the laws of God is the whole duty of man, right? And then I'm gonna get back into Leviticus, right? And it says, all right, right here. It said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, man. The whole duty of man. Duty is the will, man. All right, this is our will, man, is to keep his commandments. All right, let's go back to Leviticus. Let's get into it. Let's go back into Leviticus. All right. So, but what we want, man, we want our garments always white, man. We want to make our body that living sacrifice without blemish, man. Like Yahweh Shai was that sacrifice without blemish, right? And it says, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest, right? And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, right? Let's take a look at this rising that is talking about within the flesh. All right, let's take a little look, man. All right. See, I got different infirmities that happen when you get leprosy, right? And it starts from what? A rising in the flesh, man. Right? A rising in the flesh, man. You know? All right. You see how that's a little rising in the flesh is like a whelp, right? You see a rising in the flesh, man. You gotta watch out, huh? You gotta watch out. Man. That's a sign of leprosy, right? So it says, if you have a rising in the flesh, right, you gotta go into the priest, man. All right. Let's go back to the scriptures. Khan. And the priest shall look upon the plague of in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague is in Salakia, in a sight deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, right? And the reason why it had to tell you, right, it had to tell you this, right? And the plague is in sight, be deeper than the flesh, right? Than the skin of his flesh. It is a plague of leprosy, right? And the priest shall look on it, Salakia, on him and pronounce him unclean, right? Because when you look at leprosy, so they got a thing, right, that appears to be leprosy, and it's not. So you have to weigh this thing out, right? Because some people are born with I don't know how I should put this, but um So like Israel, I'm just going through the spirit. They probably should give it to me. So there's this right here, right? And that's the real name for it, right? Uh, vitiligo, right? That's the real name for it. It's not leprosy, but they have these things, right? Vitiligo is a disorder that causes the skin to lose its color. Specifically, causes Salaki. Specifically, causes are known unknown, but right. But give me a second, Israel. Study suggests a link unto immune system changes, right? So, but that's not leprosy. But you can get this, but this is not unclean, right? This is not unclean, right? Vitiligo is not unclean, but it could look like leprosy, right? So this is what we have to watch out for. Like you see on top of her head, you see that scab, you see the things of that sort. That's bad. We want to watch out for that though, because if you got that, then that's leprosy, right? But this right right here is vitiligo, man. Right? It's just something that happens, man. Or something that you're born with. So we can't look at this and say, oh, you're unclean, right? Because you have to have the scab, you have to have the yellow hairs, and that's what's gonna deem you as being unclean, man. Right? Let's get back into it. Now, I used to believe that was leprosy and you were unclean if you had that, that type of skin deficiency, man, like vitiligo, right? But that's not true, right? Leprosy is an actual plague. It's an actual disease that come upon the skin, right? Let's go into it. So, verse 4, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that had the plague 7 days. So look, as it says, right, and the hair thereof be turned not white. See, if the hair is turned white, then what is that? That's vertigo, right? That's not leprosy, right? But if the hair is yellow, and guess what? You got a plague. So that the lady that I just showed y'all, she had the plague of leprosy in her head, right? And the priest shall look upon him in the Salakia, and the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague is in the sight, Salakia, if the plague is in his sight be deeper, Salakia. Let me read it again. Salakia Israel. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, right? It's still the same way as how he saw it on the first day, right? And the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more, because it's not spreading, right? It might start going away, right? Since it be at stay and it's still the same and it's not getting worse, it might heal within that next week, right? Or start to getting smaller, scab up, start the healing process, right? And Salaki, verse 6, and the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not, in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, right? So now the leprosy has healed and it's turning into a scab, right? Which means it's not going to spread, right, to the next person. So he now is pronounced clean. But, right, but, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. So now you got to wash your body, wash your clothes, and you'll be pronounced clean. Right. And if the Salakia Israel, Salakia, right? And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, and then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy, right? So now you done cleaned him up, right? He cleaned his clothes, everything like that. But then the scabs start to spread, right? Hey man, hold on, you got to get back in there, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna keep a close eye on that brother, man. So, and that's the same way with the scriptures, man. When it said if right. So, just like they taking notes right here, Paul, the big brother Paul, he said, we're gonna get it right there, right quick. Because we know, that leprosy is contagious. So in the same way leprosy is contagious, right? Rebellion is contagious, right? So we had to note that, man, right? It says, I'm gonna read this one more time, then we're gonna go into the scriptures a little bit about the symbolism, or the similitude of this, right? And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in his skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy, right? So you go out, but the scab, is still spreading, and you still got infection under your skin. Hey, man, we're gonna have to shut you back up. But somebody had to been watching over that man. Somebody had to note that man that he had this plague, man. Right. So the same way, that our brother Paul, man, how he got down. You feel what I'm saying? My bad, no chapter 4, but this is what I wanted. Chapter 3, right? And verse 14. And it says, so the same way it is with that leprosy, right? Is the same way with rebellion, man. If you got one rebellious Israelite, you need to note that man. And that's what we do, Salaki Israel, and that's what we do within our camp. We note that man and we try to work with him and work on him with those sins, man. And hopefully the brother or sister repent, man. And it said this is the book of Salakia. Second my bad. Second Thessalonians, right? Chapter 3 and verse 14. And if any man obey not our word by this epistle, so if you don't listen to what Paul is saying, right? Note that man, right? So, hey, man, he got a plague on him, man. He got that plague of leprosy on him, man. He's sinning, right? He going against the grain, man. Same way with this leprosy, man. Right? You sinning, man. You going against the grain, and then when you go around the brethren or the sisterhood, you gonna get them plagued with this damn leprosy. So the same way with Israel that want to be rebellious, right? We need to note that man and watch that man. We gotta watch him, right? Just like that leprosy, we gotta watch that leprosy and see if it goes away, right? Have no company with him. Why? Because that plague, that leprosy is gonna get on you, man. It's gonna entice you, right? So that sin or that the way that brother is going is going to entice the rest of the family, right? So it says, and have no company with him, right? That he may not be ashamed, man. That he may be a salaki, that he may be ashamed. Because that's what's going to happen, right? I was telling this one brother, I was like, hey, man, we really want you to be down with the cause. You feel what I'm saying? But, as long as you still dibbling and dabbling, with, with that smoking demon, man, you ain't gonna be able to do certain things that you'll be able to do within the camp, right? Because we need you to do what? Be ashamed, man. We need you to be ashamed of smoking pot, man, right? Because that way now you'll be clean, and we don't have to worry about that leprosy spreading to the rest of the body, man. We got rid of that leprosy, man. And if you come around with that leprosy, you're gonna get us back dirty again. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna get us back with that plague, man. And we trying to get rid of that, right? And it said what? Yet count him not as an enemy. So I don't count the brother as an enemy, right? But it says what? But admonish him as a brother, man. Right? Hey, man, let's get this word for admonish. Right? But admonish him as a brother, man. Right?
Strong's G 3560, Nutheteo. Nutheteo.
Nutheteo, right? Nutheteo, right? In the Greek. And it says admonish, right? Warn, right? To admonish, warn, exhort, right? So that's what I did, man. I admonished that brother, man. I warned him, man. You know what I mean? I gave him, right? I gave him brotherly love, man, right? Last precept on this. And it says, now Yahweh, right? Yahweh Shah of peace himself give you peace always by all means. Yahweh, right? Be with you all, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to not count him as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother, man. And that's the same way in Leviticus, right? They didn't kick him out the camp. They didn't kill him because he had the plague, right? They didn't beat him down to a pulp because he got leprosy, man. But what they did, they admonished him, man. They put him away, man. Right? They tried to make him clean, man. They tried to clean that brother up, man, so he could come back around the congregation. Right? Let me see verse 8. Right? Verse 8. And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in his skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. Right? So he pronounced him unclean. Right, the same way with that demon, man. That good old weed smoking demon. We see that leprosy, man. We see that plague, man, and we want to get it. We want to get it into an area where it could clean itself up. You know what I mean? Where it could clean itself up. So that way, that plague of leprosy don't hop back on the brethrens, man. Right. Verse 9. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest, man. Right? And what we do, we bring those brothers, we note those brothers, and we bring those brothers into the body, man. And then we talk to him about the problems that he's going with and what we don't accept. Right? And the same way with this leprosy, man. It says when the plague of leprosy is in a man, right? When that plague of sin, if that plague of rebellion, right? If that plague of damn witchcraft or sorcery is within a man or woman, right? Then we bring them in front of the priest, man, right? Then he shall be brought unto the priest, man. We bring them in front of the congregation, man. You feel what I'm saying? And we talk to that brother and try to get, or that sister, and try to get that plague up out of them, man. It could be leprosy, could be, pride, right? It could be ego, right? It could be stiff-neckedness, man. Not wanting to hear what's going on, man. Not wanting to hear the problem to come up with a solution. You kind of just like shun it off, right? But that's not righteous, man, according to the Lord, man. You want to try to clean that brother up, man. You know. So here we go. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, right? And shall not shut him up, for he is unclean, right? That's when it gets deeper, man, right? It says, let's read this one more time, right? And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, right? What is quick, man? Quick means live, right? Live. Quick raw flesh, man. Living raw flesh, right? It's not going away, and it don't want to leave, you know? It's just steady there, man. Right? I might be missing it somewhere. Let me see. Salakia Israel. Preservation of life, man, right? It's still living, man. Reviving, right? It just keep coming back, man. All right, this one keep coming back, man. Live flesh, tender or raw flesh, man. Right? Hey, man, you unclean, bro. You're gonna have to get up, you know what I mean? You gotta go back into your hiding place, man. Feel what I'm saying? It says, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. Hey, man, you're gonna have to get somewhere, man. Right? And it says, if the leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that had the plague from his head even unto his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, man, you got jammed up bad, right? You just full of iniquity, right? You just full of iniquity, man. Man, you got some work to do, man. That's another way you could be like the living dead, man. You understand? Man. All right. So, and it says, verse 13, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that had the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. Right? So meaning, if at the end of it all, right, it went like this. Let's see. At the end of it all, man, it went like this, right? Then you good, right? You're gonna be pronounced clean, man. All right. You see this lady? Right? If it's from the head down to the foot, but it all has turned white and healed, right? You'll be pronounced clean. Right? Because this happens, man. You know? See? All the way down to the foot, man. You feel what I'm saying? But, right? But it would have to not be raw, right? It have to be not living, right? It had to be healed, man. You know? And then it'll turn like this, right? And that'll be okay. You know, now you clean. All right. So, and it says, right, it's turned white, he is clean, right? Because it's not red no more. It's not flesh, right? It's not raw, right? But when, see, this is the key part. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. So as long as it's still raw, it's still healing, then you contagious, man. You got to go over there. But there's a point in time where that flesh is gonna be what? It's all turned white, man. Right? Then you would be what? He is clean. But if it's raw, that plague is still there, man. Right? So you gotta get put away, man. You know, you gotta get put away. Lan, let's go see how some of that look, right? Let's go see how some of that look. Come on, let's go see how some of that look, man. All right. So this would be your raw leprosy, right? That'll be your raw leprosy, man. You see how it's still red in the flesh, right? Still raw, still hurt, still contagious, right? Is that still it's that leprosy with the life preservation, right? Still got life in it, man. But when he heal, when all this leprosy go away, he's gonna have light spots, man. Right? But that'll be clean. Right? Man, that's wicked. Look at that. These people wicked, man. Man, Esau need to go, man. Right? But when it heals, you see how these look, man. And when it heals, it's gonna be white, man. You're not gonna have all the melanin that you had beforehand, right? In that spot, but you're gonna be pronounced clean because that is not raw anymore, right? But that raw leprosy, man, is a mother sucker, man. Look at this, man. That got to be painful, man. Man, gotta be painful, man. All right, all for that. So, verse 17, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned unto white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague, he is clean, right? Because it's healed. The flesh also, which is in even the flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed, man. And in the place of the boil there be a white rising, right? Or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest. And if the priest see it, behold, it be in the sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil. Right? So this happens, man. You know, this happens, man. It's a judgment, right? Maybe it's for sins that you did in this life, or it's for the sins that you have done in your past life. But nevertheless, these things are a judgment from the Lord, man. Right? The affliction of the skin, man. Right? This one of the worst ones, man. I hate seeing this, right? But this is what it's talking about, man. That boil, them boils, and then you got the red in the midst of the flesh, man. That raw, cause they bust, they ooze, you know, and things of that sort. And it sucks to have to go through that, right? But it's a judgment, man. All right, it's a judgment. All right, back to it. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days, just in case, right? The symptoms might not be fully showing yet, but just in case, right? We're gonna go ahead and shut you up 7 days, man. If it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague, man. Right? But if the bright spots stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Right? You got jammed up, man. Or you got jammed up. It's a burning boil, man. Right? Some type of infection under the skin. All right, let's see what it's talking about.
Strong's H. Strong's H, 6867. Tsareveth. Second entry. Tsarav. Tsarav.
The inflammation, right? It's just a swelling, some type of infection under the skin, right? Salakia. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on, man. What the heck? All right, come. Salakia. All right. All right, Con. Verse 20, 24. Right? Or if there be, this is Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 24, or if there be any flesh in the skin thereof that is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, right? Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in the sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, right, of the inflammation or the infection in the skin, right, which would be a boil. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. Right? Now you're gonna have to be shut up 7 days, and we're gonna see what happened. Right? But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. All right. So it has to be lower than the skin. So it can't just be like something you get burned, and then now you get a little, a little burn spot, a little blister, a little, uprising in the skin that got the little white blood cells in there, man. It had to be deeper than that for it to be leprosy. Right? Can't just be on top of the skin. You might have got burned. You might have got burned by some food on accident, and now you got a little burn spot, man, a little boil. Right? But it's all white blood cells, and it's just because your skin got burned. You gotta look at it a little deeper, man, and see if it's, if it's leprosy or not. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. Right? You gotta keep leprosy out of the congregation, man. We don't need to touch people with leprosy, man. So we need to watch and look out for stuff like that. And if it's questionable, right, when in doubt, throw it out, man. When in doubt, bro, don't touch that person, man. And the priest shall pronounce him unclean, for it is an inflammation of the burning, right? Salakia is real. If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, right? Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be inside deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. It's a dry scald. It's a dry scald, right? All right, Con. Let's look at this. Let's get an image of this, right? Salakia, let me get this for y'all as well. Talk, you'll be patient with me. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this. I want the right picture, right? If I can't find a good one, I'll move on. But it'll be somewhat like this. Let's see. It'll be somewhat like this, right? And then you'll get white hairs and you'll get yellow hairs, right? And that's a dry skull, right? Right. So verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. Right? You have certain people where you'll see that. You'll see, the yellow hair and the beard, man. You know, this is also why we don't dye our hair yellow, right? We don't dye our hair um the color of a leprosy, right? We want to keep our hair the color that the Lord give us, man. And if He make you have white hair, man, you get gray hair, then that's all on the will of the Lord, man. Right? But you don't want to dye your hair white, or you don't want to dye your hair yellow, blonde, or bleach your hair, because that's a sign of a plague. Right? That's a sign of leprosy, uncleanness. Right? Verse 31, and if the priest look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be in sight deeper than the skin, and that is there no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague of the skull 7 days. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, then the skull be and the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, but the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that had the skull 7 days more. Right. So now you want to clean the hair on his head, man. Right. That's why you're gonna shave the rest of it, so that way the other hair follicles do not get infected. Right. And it says, verse 34, and in the 7th day the priest shall look on the skull, and behold, if the skull be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. Right? But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, after you shaved off the good hair, and cleansed it away from the skull that's on his head, right? But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, after you shave off the good hair, right? Then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. Right? Simple and plain. All right. But if the skull be in the site at stay, right, it's still the same, didn't spread, didn't get smaller, and that there is black hair grown up therein, the skull is healed. He is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Right now, that infection, right, and that infirmity is going away. That plague is going away. Right. If a man, hold on, give me a second. Let me see. Let me show y'all something right quick. Let me show y'all something right quick. So this is what the priest would be looking for, right? See, y'all gotta just bear with me. You know, we're going through the spirit. You know, one thing about leprosy, man, it's hard. You know, it's hard to talk about, man. You never have a lot of guests on your channel. You know, when you're dealing with leprosy, man, it's not comely, man. It's not a beautiful situation, right? So see, that'll be like that yellow hair, right? That'll be like that yellow hair, man. You know, and you'll go into the boil, man, and you'll see that the yellow it'll be yellow, man. You have a little yellow inside the hairs, man. Right? You see that yellow inside those hairs, man. But if it's black, it's all good, man. You shave it down and the hairs become black, you good, man. Right? Let's go. Give me a couple seconds, Joshua. All right, come on. Let's get back into it. All right.
Sorry, I'm not able to help with this one yet.
I don't need your help anyway. All right. All right. And it says, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13 and verse 38. If a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, right? Then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that groweth in the skin. He is clean. So you just got a freckle, man, or you just got a a mole that came in, right? And us, us Creoles, us brothers and sisters that's Creole, we know that moles come in later on, man, right? Even even different Judites, man, y'all, you get moles that come in later on, man, under the eyelids, on your nose, right? Give me a second. Let's look this up though. All right, a freckled spot, man. A harmless eruption of the skin, a skin spot, right? White scarf, right? Freckled spot. Yeah, like a mole. Like a mole, you get freckles. Some people are born with some freckles, but as you get older, freckles appear. Son, you in love over there, huh? Y'all don't mind my child eating this dang peanut butter and jelly, right? It is a freckle spot, right? 39. Let's read this again. Then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckle spot that groweth in the skin. He is clean, right? And the man whose hair is falling off his head, he is bald, yet he is clean. So you'll have these brothers, right, with these receding hairlines, right? Let's go into it. You'll have these brothers with these receding hairlines, man. Just because they have a receding hairline don't mean that they have leprosy, man. Right? The Lord got to make sure, because he know, how much we fear him. Hey, we'll call anybody unclean that got anything going on with them, man. We'll mess around and be over righteous, man. Right? But if he just got a receding hairline, man, it is, it's a receding hairline, man. It's not it's just a bald spot. Don't get scared, man. It's not leprosy. All right, just a bald spot. All right. It's not this. Right. It's not this what we saw earlier. Right. It's just a bald spot, man. All right. What is one right here? It's not this. Right. It's just a bald spot. He's just getting old, right? And his family got this thing that all the men in the family just get a receding hairline once they get a certain age, Let's get back into it. All right. And he that has his hair his hair falling from Salakia. Trying to catch it. All right, let's skip. And the man whose hair is falling off his head, he is bald, yet he is clean, right? Receding hairline. He that hath his hair fallen off from the part of his head toward his face, right? He is forehead bald. See that receding hairline, right? Yet he is clean, right? Don't use everything to make somebody unclean, man. That's how his family go, you know. And if I'll say like that because of Captain Khalil, right? Captain Khalil always getting me with that, man. So I keep him in my spirit by saying that, right? I love that brother. And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, that's problematic, right? It is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or in his bald forehead, right? And that's that other picture I showed you guys, where it's a dry skull, right? That's a form of leprosy, right? Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white, reddish in his bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appeareth in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. Right? The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. Right? Hey man, you got a while, man. You got a while for you to well, I don't even know. This one doesn't even say you'll be able to come back in, right? He is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head, right? Let's get this word utterly, because I don't even think this is something that you could come back from, man. All right, this is one of those plagues that you can't come back from, man. Tameh, right? Tameh.
Strong's H 2930. Tameh. Tameh.
Tameh, right? The foul, polluted, uncleanliness, utterly unclean. To be unclean, become unclean, Salakia. Become impure, right? To be or become unclean. And it says, defile oneself, be defiled, right? All in all, unclean, right? You're unclean, right? And it's utterly unclean, man. Meaning most definitely, right? That you're unclean, man. Right? So you'll have to go through that same process, but you're unclean, right? Flesh, unclean, utterly unclean, right? 45, right? And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip and shall cry, unclean, unclean. Right? You got to let the whole world know, man, I'm unclean, man. Don't come around me, man. This plague is a big plague, man. This one of those plagues that's going to jam the whole congregation up, man. So you got to go through it and say it, man. I'm unclean, unclean. Unclean, man. Don't come close, right? Because this one is a flesh eater, man. Right? Let's get back into it. And shall cry, unclean, unclean. all the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp. Shall his habitation be, man? Right? So when you're unclean, man, you full of all these damn sins and stuff like that. You know, you need to be without the camp, man. We don't want no unholy brother, man, unset apart brother, man, all in the camp, man. You just want to read the Bible, man, but all through the week you being wicked as hell, man. Right? No, man. You got the plague of leprosy, man. Stay without the habitation, man. Your habitation should be outside the camp, man. And when you clean yourself up, man, then you could come back into the camp, or then you could come into the camp and actually be holy and set apart, man. Right? Verse 47, the garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment, or a linen garment, whether it be a warp or a woof of linen or of woolen, whether in a skin, whether in a skin or in anything made of skin, right? So you can get the same plague, Salakia, in your clothes, right? Right? You get the same plague in your clothes, man. And it'll resemble that of like, right, a bleach stain. And it also would be, you know, like mold, right? Let's go into it a little bit more, right? Let's read. And it says, and anything made of skin, and if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment or in the skin, right? Meaning the skin of that animal, right? Either in warp, right? What is warp? Right? What is warp?
Strong's H8359. Shethi.
Mm-hmm. Warp is woven, right? So like how you go ahead. Like when you wool cotton together or different materials together, that would be warp, right? Woven material. Either in warp, right? Or in woof, right? Or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy and shall be showed unto the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague and shut up it that had the plague 7 days, right? No matter what garment it is, it has to go. It has to be shut up, right? And he shall look on the plague, Salakia. And he shall look upon the plague that had Salakia. Starting from the top, right? Verse 50. And the priest shall look upon the plague and shut up it that had the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in the skin, or in any work that is made of skin, meaning or in any work that is made of skin, so you can have like a scarf, whatever it is, right? The plague is a threatening leprosy. It is unclean. He shall therefore burn that garment. That's right. Shall burn that garment. So you need to burn that old man. You need to get rid of that thing, right? So same thing with this garment, man. You got to get rid of that thing, because all it's gonna do is spread the plague more, right? Whether warp or woof or woolen or linen or anything of skin wherein the plague is, for it is a frightening leprosy. It shall be burned in the fire. All right. Let's get that word frightening. Right. Ma'ar, right? Ma'ar.
Strong's H3992. Ma'ar. Ma'ar.
Mud'ed, right? Ma'ar, right? That's how you say it in Hebrew. Right? Ma'ed or Ma'ar, right? In the Paleo. And it says threatening, pricking, right? To pain, prick, irritate, be in pain. Right? That's the type of leprosy that's in that clothing, man. It's gonna drive you crazy, right? You'll be itching, and now you have blisters and things like that in your skin because of the garment, right? It is a threatening leprosy. It shall be burnt in the fire, man. Get rid of that thing, right? And if the priest shall look and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on the plague after that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed his color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. It is a fret inward, right? It's not a fret on the outward, which is a threatening leprosy, right? But this is a fret inward, right? It's within the clothing, whether it be bare within or without. And if any priest look and behold the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rent it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in the thing of skin, it is a spreading plague. Thou shalt burn that therewith, it's like it that wherewith the plague is with fire. And the garment, either warp, woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which thou shalt wash, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed the second time and be clean. This is the law of the plague of leprosy in a garment of woolen or linen, or either in warp or woof, or anything of skin, to pronounce it clean or to pronounce it unclean, right? All that we read is what we do and hear, right? Leviticus 14:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and a cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose unto the open field. Right? That mean that sin. That's like the same thing as a scapegoat, right? A scapegoat and a sin and a goat that's for the atonement of the sins, right? Which you would kill. Lonnie. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off his hair and wash himself in water that he may be clean. After that, he shall come unto the camp and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, and even all his hair he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day, he shall take 2 he lambs without blemish, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish. Let's see what the ewe lamb. And 1 ewe lamb, right? Female lamb, right? Feminine ewe lamb, right? female lamb. Right. Con. Damn. All right, be patient, Israel. Let me get this back together. Okay, so a ewe lamb is a female lamb, right? And it says 2 he lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3/10 deals of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil. Right. And the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man, and the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall take 1 he lamb and offer him for a trespass offering, right? Because when you get these plagues, it's because you sin, man. The Lord judge you for sinning, right? And the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is the most holy. It is most holy, right? And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his foot, right? And that's as symbolic as well as it is literal, right? When it says, put it on the tip of his right ear, your right ear is you listening to the Most High, right? And then it says, upon the thumb of his right hand, meaning your doings, the good doings, right? Which is the law, right? You put your hand to the law, man, right? And upon his great toe, which is upon his right foot, meaning that's the way you're walking. You're walking with the ways of the Most High, man. Right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And the priest, verse 15, and the priest shall take some of the log of oil and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. All right. I gotta be a measure or something. Okay. Yeah, see, a liquid measure equal to about a half a liter. All right. So a log is a measure, right? Upon his own left hand, right? Salakia. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. All right, Salakia. There we go. And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand, and of the rest of the oil that is in his hand, shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, and upon the blood of the trespass offering. That's the symbol of atonement, right? Oil is a atonement, right? It's just like that ointment, right? That was put on Christ. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand, he shall pour it upon the head of him that is to be cleansed. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord. Right? So all that with the oil is to do what? To make an atonement, right? He's anointing him to be clean, in the eyes of the Most High. And it says, and the priest shall offer the sin offering and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanliness. Afterward, he shall kill the burnt offering, and the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. All right. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall take one lamb for a trespass offering to be waved to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, and a log of oil, right? And 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering, and he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yahweh. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be clean, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon his great toe of his right foot. Hold on, Salaki. And on the great toe of his right foot, and the priest shall pour of the oil unto his palm of his hand, of his own left hand. All right, did I read this already? In the palm of his own left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put of the oil upon it that is in his hand upon the tip of his right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, and upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And he shall offer one of the turtle doves for a young or of the young pigeons, as such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering with the meat offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the law of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which is that which pertaineth to his cleansing. Right now, this is a deep one too. Right, it's the cleansing a house leprosy. Right, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When ye become into the land of Canaan, which I give you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seemeth to me there is as it were a plague in the house. Right? Let's go into it. Right? So this that mold in the house. If you have a plague of leprosy in your house, right, it would look like unto this, right? And we know we done seen some stuff, man. We seen some stuff, man. Especially if you've been in construction, man, you saw some stuff, you know. Sometimes those hurricanes and those tornadoes come through, and you get these plagues in your house, man. You gotta chop off the drywall, right? Spray the beams for mold, you know, and then you cover it up, man, and see what happens, man. You do your mold test and see what happens, man. But this is it, right? The plague of leprosy in your home, right? It's called mold now, but the plague of leprosy, man, right? According to the scriptures. Oh. And Salakia to those that came in, and I have not saluting you guys, but I'm trying to do this thing in a one-man army, and it's not easy. All right. That's all good. Y'all didn't speak anyway. So, he that owneth, not bad. Let me get back on it. Verse 35. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seems to me there is as it were a plague in the house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. Right? And that's the same way with you, man. When we having these secret sins, man, right? You gotta get those sins out the house, man, so that way you could get cleansed up, right? Like the scripture said. Right, we're gonna get into it, right? Let's Let's go to the book. We're going to go to the book of Proverbs. All right. Because you got to get these sins out, you know, to be able to, for the Lord to be able to dwell within your temple, all right, within your body. So it says, it reads, all right, yeah, should be 28 and 13. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whosoever confesseth and forsake them shall have mercy. Right? So you gotta confess those things, man. Meaning the same way, right? The same way in Leviticus, the 14th chapter, it says that you before the priest come in, right? Just like before Yahweh Shai come in, we have to cleanse our way, right? It's the same way with the priest, man. You have to clean your house out, man. Right? You have to clean your house out before the priest could come in. Right? Same way with Yahweh Shai, man. You got to clean your spirit out, your temple out, man. So Yahweh Shai could come on in. Let me see. Salakia. So, like it says right here, if y'all can see that, then the priest shall command that they empty the house, right? So you got to clean your house, man. You got to clean your body from these sins, right? Why? Before the priest go in unto it to see the plague, man. You have to clean out your house, man. You got to clean out your body from sin so that Yahweh Shai could come on into it and help you, man, right? And be that atonement for you. That all that is in the house be not made unclean. Because you don't want that sin dwelling in you. And then you just, now you just adding sin unto sin, right? And that house is defiled. And the priest will never come sit with you, man. And afterward, the priest shall go into Salaki, shall go into see the house. Right? Let's go get that in the book of Corinthians. Con. So the scriptures tell you what? This is the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 3 and verse 16. Right? Know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh? So if you're the temple of Yahweh, guess what? Yahweh want a place that's clean, right? To come sleep in, man, to come dwell in, right? And that the spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you, right? If any man defile his temple, right? Defile the temple of Yahweh, him shall Yahweh destroy. Why? Because when you sin, you defile your temple, man. And what happens, right? Just like pride coming before destruction, right? When you sinning, guess what? Destruction is around the corner, man. Because Yahweh dwells in you, man, and you disrespecting the Lord like that. For the temple of Yahweh is holy, man. The temple of Yahweh is separate. So if you're the temple of Yahweh or the temple of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you need to be separate from all these sins, man. You don't need to be sinning constantly, you know. And you also need to have a broken and contrite heart, man. Right? Which temple ye are, man. You are Yahweh's temple, man. So you can't just be sinning all willy-nilly and thinking you could smoke weed, get tattoos, and the Lord's really dwelling with you, man. He's supping with you. Nah, man, it don't work like that. right? You got to clean your ways, man. You got to get all the stuff up out of your house, man. Right. Where we at? Salakia 14. Con. So it says, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go in to see it, right? Into it to see the plague, right? That all that is in the house be not made unclean, right? And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house, right? And it's also for those brothers, man, right? The house is the body, right? Is the body of Yasharallah, man, the body of Christ, right? The body of believers, right? And the house be not made unclean, right? So sometimes you got to kick certain brothers, you know, out of the camp or from out of our congregation, so we don't get the rest of the house unclean, right? With these different spirits of the books of Jubilee, Enoch, these different books, right? If your camp not dealing with those books, man, you got to get those brothers out that's dealing with those books, man, because it's gonna make a plague come into the house, man, come into the congregation, right? And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow stripes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, right? Meaning on what? On the baseboards, right? And saying if it be right, my bad. If it be right here in the corners of your wall, on the borders, right? The baseboards, right? Lower than the wall, right? Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. Right? And he shall cause the house to be scraped round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take another mortar, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. If the plague come nigh again and break out in the house, after that he had taken away the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague is spread in the house, it is a threatening leprosy in the house, it is unclean. meaning it's gonna end up jamming you up in the lungs, right? Mold is very unhealthy, right? And black mold could kill you, right? He shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until even. Man, and he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, behold, the plague had not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean because the plague is healed. Right? He shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, and he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel, running over running water. And he shall take the cedar wood and hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. He shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird and with the running water and with the living bird and with the cedar wood and with the hyssop and with the scarlet. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city unto the open fields, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy, scall, and for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising, or for a scab, or for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. Right? All that Yahweh said is what we do and hear. All right, last chapter. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean. So if you get that gonorrhea, right? You get that gonorrhea, chlamydia, um, yeast infection, right? These different issues, right? That cometh out of your flesh, right? You're unclean, man. And you need to get that taken care of. So, verse 3, and this shall be his uncleanness and his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, right? Let's get this word issue. Let's get this word issue. Zobi, right?
Strong's H2101. Zove. Zove.
Right? Zove. Flow, issue, discharge, flux, right? Semen, discharge, venereal disease of men, right? Issue, flux of women, right? All right, verse 3, and this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lieth that hath an issue is unclean. Everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean, and whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the even. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that had the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto even. So if you sit wherever that brother sat, and he had that issue in his flesh, meaning in his rod, right? And he got some stuff going on, man. Venereal disease, then hey man, everything he sat on is unclean. And if you sit behind that brother, you're unclean, right? So you need to wash your flesh and wash your clothes, man. And that's why we wash our flesh and our clothes multiple times a day, man. Sometimes for me, sometimes I might take 3 baths just in case, just in case, man. So I'll try to do this to the best of my ability, no matter what it is, right? Because we sit on a bus, we sit at a bus stop. Sometimes we sit on the ground. We never know who sat there before us, and we know it wasn't washed. So it's good to constantly bathe and put on new clothes, man. Right? And he that had touched the flesh of him that had an issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. So you have to help that brother heal. You got to come up with certain remedies. You got to grind up different herbs, put it in that spot so that way that brother can heal from his infirmity, right? And if he that had the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. Right? So even if you spit on that guy, man, why? Because that venereal disease is within your blood. It's within your body, which means it's in your saliva. All right, give me a second. All right, I'm back. All right. And what Leviticus 15:9, and what saddle soever he rideth upon that had the issue shall be unclean, and whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until even. And he that had bare any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. Right? These cleanly laws, statutes, right? And whomsoever he toucheth, that had the issue and had not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. So you can't just go around touching people, man. You ain't washing your hands, stuff like that. You know, for women too, you know, they changing the tampon, the pad. You know, you got an issue going on, man. Don't go around just touching people, man. You know, you'll make that person unclean, right? Make sure you're washing your hands, man. You know what I mean? And he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. All right, let's get this word. But there's one where you're gonna see it says basically submerge your whole body in water, right? Wash all flesh. All right. To wash off, wash away, bathe oneself, to be washed. All right. We're gonna see when it gets to the seed of copulation how they word that, right? And it's the same word, I believe. But let's go into it. And be unclean unto even, and the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which had the issue, shall be broken. Every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he had an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. Right? So if you had an issue, you'll be clean to the touch at even, right? Once your issue go away. But then you got to stay away. You can't go into your rib or nothing like that. You feel what I'm saying? And you can't come into the congregation, right? Because it says, and when he that hath an issue is cleaned of his issue, right? Meaning, you know, that evening came past and you still good, right? And you wash your clothes and everything, you clean. But then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing. And then now you still unclean in a certain way, right? For 7 days. So you don't want to go into your woman or nothing like that and give her, you know, an issue, right? And wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. Make sure you shower every day, right? For those 7 days. And on the 8th day, he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, and the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean unto even. So let's go into this, right? Because I believe I went into it, and it's the same word for bathe, right? Same word for bathe. Wash off, wash away, bathe, right?
Strong's H 7364. Rachetz. Rachetz.
All right, let's go look at these other words for bathe, right? Because you see it says, and he shall wash all his flesh, right? So after you spill seed, you have to wash all your flesh, right? Meaning your hair and everything else, right? But let's see. I remember I went into this. Right, same word. It's the same word.
Strong's right? H 7364. Rachetz. Rachetz.
And it says for the seed of compilation, right? It says you got to wash all your flesh, right? But that bathe is the same word that is used. Give me a second. Right here, right? My bad. Where was I? Right here, 16. Right? Wash all his flesh in water. Same word as bathe. He shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until even. So when you spill seed, you got to wash all your flesh. Right? Now, when it comes to everything else to do with the cleansly laws, the clean laws, I believe that water should touch all your flesh, man, because in the seed of copulation, that's what it tells you, right? And it's the same word. It's the same word as that's used over here, but it doesn't use all. So, I would say you could use that to your own discretion, because it says all right here, which is cold, right? Which is the whole, right? Your whole body, totality, right? So at least in the seed of copulation, make sure you wash all your body, right? When you have sex, you drop seed, get all your flesh clean from your head to your toe, right? I'm gonna read it one more time. Verse 16, if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until even. And every garment and every skin whereon the seed of copulation shall whereon is the seed of copulation, right? Your sperm, wherever it falls at, right, shall be washed with water, and be unclean unto even. Right, so make sure when you're getting down, man, you wash your bed sheets, you wash everything that the seed of copulation touching. Right, I just wash everything, man. Just in case, man, you might miss the mark, man. I wash the whole thing. Right. The woman also with whom the man shall lie with seed of copulation, right? So you need to be having, relation with your woman, and the seed of copulation needs to go where it's supposed to go to make a kid, right? To make a child. They shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until even, right? the Lord wants us to reproduce. You feel what I'm saying? So you wanna put it, where it's supposed to go. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until even. And even everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. So wherever your wife is sitting, wherever she sit at, and if you touch her, right, you're gonna be unclean until even. You feel what I'm saying? So we want to refrain from touching our women when they on their menstrual cycle, right? Everything that she lied upon, right, her bed, right, the stuff that she sit on, right, which would be the chairs, the couch, right? We need to wipe all that down so it'll be clean, right? So it'll be clean in the after even, right, when the sun go down. All right, and whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he touch it, he shall be unclean until even. Right? And we know that we kind of like we came far in society now to where we got pads and tampons, so the blood really don't get many places unless it catch us off guard, catch the women off guard or whatnot, so it really don't be blood everywhere like it used to be. They had menstrual rags. That's why he said our righteousness is like unto filthy rags. It's like a menstrual cloth, something that they tucked up under them to keep the blood in control. Right? Verse 24, and if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. So you don't want to lie with your woman while she you don't want to run the red light, man. You don't want to be with your woman while she on her flower. You feel what I'm saying? Because if her flower, right, be upon him, right, and we know when they bleeding, man. You're going to get the flower on you. You feel what I'm saying? Be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lies shall be unclean. Right? Now you unclean for 7 days, and you can't just lay down everywhere. You got to be set apart, right? If a woman have an issue of blood many days out of the time of her separation, right, meaning she go far past her normal days, 5, 7, 3, it's supposed to only be 7 tops, or you're running past your time, right? It says, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanliness shall be as the days of her separation. So you unclean, if it's 10 days, you 10 days unclean, and then, right, she shall be unclean, and then you get the extra 7 days where you need to not have sex with your husband. Every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. Right? That same bed she sleeping. And this is why we have separate tents, right? We will put them in another tent so they could deal with all their uncleanliness stuff, and then wash everything and then be clean, And you have another rib come through, take up her bed where the blood might have got on, wash it all up. Her and the stuff will be unclean till even, boom, and then the other rib is clean, but this rib still going through her purification. But you have that help to keep everything clean in that other tent, in that other area. right? And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanliness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. So, and it's his or her, right? But, we'll have the woman go in there and clean her up because we will have different duties and offices that we will have to do, right? So we would need to be clean to do those offices, you know, or you'll have a servant go do it. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number unto herself 7 days. So whenever the blood stops, she number unto herself 7 days, right? And after that, she shall be clean. She shall be fully clean, so you could go into her, right? And then it says, on the 8th day, she shall take unto her two turtle doves or two young pigeons and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanliness. Right, and then she'll be clean, fully clean. You could go back in unto her. Right. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanliness, that they die not in their uncleanliness. See, we had to do this so that way we don't have diseases and different venereal diseases and yeast infections and HIVs and AIDS and all these different things that come about now. We wouldn't have these things because we would respect this law, man, right? And the Lord wouldn't have to plague us with these diseases. That they die not in their uncleanliness when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith, right? And of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue, of the man and the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. See, so you will have the woman, right, that have an issue, right? So, and of him that have an issue, of the man and of the woman. So you will have the issue. The woman has the issue of blood, right, for whatever number of days, and then she wash herself. She's initially clean that even, right? When she washed herself, no more blood is coming out. She's initially clean, but then they have that time period where you can't have sex with her, right? And that would be, and of him that lieth with her, that is unclean, right? Also, when you lie with her, you unclean for 7 days. If her flower get up on you, right? So, and we don't want to lie with her when she's unclean, man, right? All that Yahweh said is what we do and here, man. Right? Now we're gonna go into the prophets. We got the book of Isaiah, one of the mighty books of Isaiah, right? 66. Give me a second. All right. Ready. Isaiah 66. Man. Wonderful chapter, man. Wonderful chapter. All right. All what I got over here? All right, cool. Now, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, right, in verse 1. Thus said the Lord, the heavens is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things hath my hand made, and all those things have been, said Yahweh. But to this man I will look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and a trembleth at my word. So he's gonna look on that person, man, that, you know, because he already knew that we would be less fortunate, right? That man that is poor and have a broken and a contrite spirit, man, right? And tremble at his word, man, and is scared of his judgments that's gonna happen for us not keeping his commandments, right? He that killeth an ox is as if he sleweth a man. He that sacrifices a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. Dang. He that offereth an oblation as if he offereth swine blood. He that burneth incense as if he blesseth an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighted in their abomination. He's talking about the wicked ones of Israel, right? Always getting into this. So we think that the Lord is just gonna accept our lamb, accept our oblation, accept our incense, right? Every time we offer it because we sin. But what the Lord really want, what Yahweh Basham Yahushua really want, is for us not to go off, right? Because they see us and they know that what? They have chosen their own ways, right? And they're so delighted in their abominations, man, right? You love to eat shrimp, man. You love to have crawfish boil. You know, you love to have that the corn that's in that same boil with that crawfish, man. You know, I'm from New Orleans, man. I know how much we love our abominations. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. And we call every day, man. We're gonna go, we're gonna go call today, man, on the Lord's day. And call those, try to bid those people into the marriage, man. And it says, and hopefully somebody answer. And it says, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delight not. So they chose to keep on living that life that they're living, man. That life of fun, right? That life of sin. That's what our people choose, man. They hate the laws of the Lord, man, because they hate the Lord. And they wouldn't say that. They'll say they love God, right? But they really hate him. If you break down the laws of the Most High, you hate them. All right, Shalaki. Yeah, if you're breaking the laws of the Lord, man, you hate them. And if you're keeping the laws of the Lord, you love them. Right? It's no middle ground. There's no in between. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye that tremble at his word. You that love the Most High, man. You that fear his judgments, man. You that keep his commandments, right? Your brethren that hated you, that chased you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. What is that talking about? That's talking about Esau, right? That cast you out for my name's sake, huh? Right? Your brethren that hated you, right? That cast you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed, right? Esau gonna be ashamed, man, when the day of the Lord come, man. Right? A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies, man. Who are the enemies of the Lord, man? Those who do not his will, and the heathen, man. Right? The heathen. They're gonna get their recompense, man. They're gonna get their repay, man. They're gonna get their recompense, right? Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child, right? Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children, man. Israel, man. Right? And we're going to be saved like that, too. Like a travailing woman, man. That's how the end days is going to be, man. Right? I will go into this more, but that's why I needed a reader. I need to pull precepts, man. I need somebody to read for me. But we're just going to go through this, right? Shall I bring, Salakia, shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth? Said Yahweh. Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? Said Yahweh. Right? So all these things that we're going through is that woman, right, that's trying to bring forth that child, man. And the way that we're gonna come forth, right? The way that we're gonna come forth and be back as a nation of people, man, is right here. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered a man child. When we get our salvation, it's gonna be like that. The Lord gonna have to come through, man. Right? We're travailing already. We're going through what we need to go through already. And when that time come, man, for the elect, they're gonna be beamed up, man. Right? They're not gonna have to go through as much affliction as the least in the kingdom, man. And it reads, Isaiah 66:10, rejoice ye with Jerusalem and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her. Right? Talking about for us, man, for Zion, for Mother Jerusalem, right? That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, right? That ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory, man. And that's what we want, man. That's what we fighting for. That's why we keep the commandments. That's why we keep the faith, right? That's why we wake up Israel as much as we can, man, because we want to delight in the abundance of her glory, man, in abundance of the nation glory, man. We want to see Jerusalem back with her beautiful garment on, doing the will of the Lord, blameless, right? That's what we want, man. We want to be able to be in the kingdom, man, right? And it's coming, right? Sooner than later, man. We just got to hold our seat and endure until the end. For thus said Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river. So peace and joy, man, just going to be flowing unto us like a river, man. Right? How beautiful does that sound? And the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing of a stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be born upon her sides, and be dangled upon her knees. Mm. Mm. Blinded, to be smeared over, to be blinded, smear eyes shut, right? To blind oneself, be blinded. Right? For thus said Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and glory of the Gentiles like a flowing of stream, right? Because the Gentiles going to constantly be coming through. The streams never stop. And just like he said, our gates are going to be open continuously, right? I believe that's in Zephaniah. Isaiah 60 and 11. Your gates will be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, so that the people, right, the Gentiles, may bring to you the wealth of the nations, of the Gentiles, right? That's why it says the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream, right? They'll be bringing all their stuff unto us, right? Then shall ye suck, right? And then when you suck, guess what you're doing? You're growing, right? Then shall ye suck, then shall ye grow. Ye shall be born upon her sides, and be dangled upon her knees, right? As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. We're going back to the motherland, man. Right? And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. Right? Yep. Our families, man, gonna grow like an herb, like maize, like corn. You feel what I'm saying? Like paprika. You feel what I'm saying? Like ginger, right? Our bones, our families, right? And your bones shall flourish like an herb, right? Your family's gonna flourish like an herb, right? When you see wheat, man, many grains on side of one stick of wheat. The hand of the Lord, right? The strength of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. Hey, man, so we want to be what? This is what we want to be, his servants, man. We want his strength to be upon us, right? And his anger to be upon the enemies, right? The enemies of Israel and the enemies that's within Israel, that's going against his word, that's going against the truth. The Lord has his hand against them, right? We want his strength to be upon us, his servants. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire, right? And we're also going to be those flames of fire. He said in Obadiah, right? Obadiah 1:18. Give me a second. So Obadiah 1:18. He said, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, right? We're going to be that fire and that flame, right? And the house of Esau for stubble, right? For small bits of wood, that they may be selected, that they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord, for Yahweh has spoken it, right? So that rebuke with his flames of fire is talking about us, right? And his judgment, right? For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, right? By nuclear fire and by his own hands, right? His own doing, right? He gonna plead with all flesh. And the slaying of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, right? They think they're hiding themselves, right? With praying over this food, you know, with saying grace over the food, they think is okay, man. That's them in the garden, right? In the nation, right? Behind one tree, right? In their house, in the midst, right? In their own little city, own little town, right? In the midst, eating swine flesh and the abomination, right? What he told us we couldn't eat within Leviticus, right? Chapter 11. And the mouse shall be consumed together, said Yahweh, man. So those people that's eating those things, right? This hasn't happened yet, right? The Lord happened, came down for by fire with his sword, with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua plead with all flesh. He hasn't done that yet. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. He came as a lamb, as a lamb led to the slaughter to be the remission for our sins, man. To be that permanent offering for our sins, man. That's what he came down for already, right? He did not. This hasn't happened yet, so this has to happen. So if you eating these different things, then guess what, man? You're finished. You're gonna be altogether consumed, right? Said Yahweh. He said, why? Because for I know their works and their thoughts, it shall come, right? These things that I said, it will come. That I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. Why? Because they're going to come, right? They're going to come fight us. They're going to come to Jerusalem and try to fight against us, right? There go the book of Micah, right? Chapter 4 and verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us all of his ways. And that ain't what I want. And we will walk in his path, for the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. But that's not the one I'm talking about. But that too, though, right? That still works for that. But in Zephaniah, I believe, or Zechariah, it also tells you, Salakia. Give me a second, Israel. Zechariah chapter 14 and 14 and 2. And it says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth unto captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Verse 3. Shucks. Salakia. Verse 3. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Right? So these nations going to see that glory because they're going to try to fight against Yahweh. They're going to come to Jerusalem. They're going to stop fighting one another. Right? Like it says in the book of 2nd Ezra. Right? 2nd Ezra 13 and 30, 13 and 31. Right? Or 13 and 30. You could just read 2nd Ezra 13 and it'll tell you about what's going to happen, right? But it says, and see my glory, and I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nation, to Tarshish, Paul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tabal, and to Javan, to the isles afar, that have not heard of my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. All right, give me a second. All right. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts to my holy mountain Jerusalem, said the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel unto the house of the Lord. Right? And we're being those clean vessels today. Right? We're bringing those clean vessels today. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord, for as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make. Right? That's what we're going into, where the Lord is trying to make us what he needs us to be, so we could be those priests and those Levites for the other nation. We're gonna be the priests and the Levites as the children of Israel unto the Gentile nations, right? Shall remain before me, said Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, said Yahweh. So all the nations is going to come to us so we can keep the new moon, right? And righteousness as the world, as people, right? Period. So, but we're going to be that office, that priest and that Levitical office to the other nations, and everybody is going to enjoy the new moon, right? And enjoy the Sabbaths, right? And other high holy days together as the world, right? I want to say as a nation, but it's going to be all nation rejoicing in the Lord, man. It's going to be really, really beautiful, man, right? But the Lord's going to have to break all of us down to get there. And it says, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, or their affliction is still going to be going. And they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Right? So that lake of fire is still going to be constantly burning, right? And people that transgress is still going to be being cast into that lake of fire. And their carcasses, like it says, for their worm shall not die. Right? The smell, the stench, the maggots, it shall never die. Right? All right. Let's go into the book of Luke. Salakia, y'all, for going through this kind of fast. Right? I have to get ready to make it to camp. And I have no help. So I'm kind of going to go through this. The book of Luke, chapter 2, and verse 22. Right? And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. And we know those days of the purification for a man-child was 40 days, right? So Yahushua was 40 days old. Yahushua was 40 days old. As it is written in the law of Yahweh, right? Every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy unto the Lord, shall be called set apart unto the Lord. And to offer a sacrifice according to that which is said in the law of the Lord, a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, right? So the Yahushua mom, right? And Yahushua was keeping the law, man, right? That's why he was perfect. So even his mom, keeping the law. So we still keeping the law till today, man. Nothing has passed away, right? The heavens and the earth are still here, so not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon. And the same man was just and devout, right? Waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Spirit was upon him. it was revealed unto him by the Holy Spirit that he should not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ, right? That he had seen Yahweh's anointed, right? And he came by the Spirit into the temple. And when the parents brought in the child, Yahushua, to do for him after the custom of the law, which is the 2 turtle doves, the lamb, right? But if you're poor, you'll just have the, the turtle doves or the 2 pigeons. And then you, like I said, you kill one and run in water, right? Have one as a escape bird, right? And then you have the cedar, you'll have the hyssop, and different things like that. We just read it, right? Then took he him up in his arms, talking about Yahushua, and blessed Yahweh, and said, Lord, now lettest thou servant depart in peace according to thy word. For my eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, meaning of all Israel, right? Right? It'll say Gentiles, or it will say all nations, right? We know is all Israel, right? All people, group, tribe, nation, all those who are of the same stock and language, talking about all Israel, same stock and language. Right? And it says, before the face of all people, right? A light to lighten the Gentiles, right? To bring back the Gentiles, man. And the glory of thy people Israel, right? Because that's who we needed to come back to the fold, man, is the Gentiles. A light to lighten the Gentiles, man. Give them that grace, right? And show Israel, show the Jews, right? Benjamin, Levi, and Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, right? 1 second. Right? Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, right? And Joseph and his mother marveled at those things which were spoken of him. All right. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary, his mother, Simeon, Levite, right? And said unto Mary, his mother, behold, this child is set for the fall and rising against, that's good precept. This child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. Yea, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. Man. All right, let's go into Mark. All right. Mark 1. All right, 35 and 40. And in the morning, this is the book of Mark, chapter 31 and verse 35. And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed unto a solitary place, right? A set apart place. and there prayed. And Simeon, they, Salakia, and Simeon and they that were with him followed after him. And when they had found him, they said unto him, all men seek for thee. And he said unto them, let us go unto the next towns, that I may preach there also, for there I came forth. And he preached in their synagogues through all Galilee, and cast out devils, right? Cast out different deceiving spirits, right? That was deceiving the people, man, right? And there came a leper to him, beseeching him, and kneeling down to him, saying unto him, if thou wilt, canst thou make me clean? Right? I've been dealing with this plague of leprosy, man. If you will, can you make me clean? And Yahushua moved with compassion and put forth his hand and touched him and said unto him, I will, be thou clean. And as soon as he spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was cleansed. Right? Right? And then what did Yahushua do? He commanded him to keep the law. Right? He said, and straightly charged him, and forthwith sent him away. And did what? And said unto him, see thou sayest nothing to any man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest. Why? Because he needs to offer something for you, and offer for thy cleanliness those things which Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. Right? So he said, hey, look, man, go there, tell them, hey, I've been cleansed of my leprosy, you know. I need you to offer these things that the Lord said that we need to offer, man. But what? But he went out and began to publish it much, and to blaze abroad the manner, in so much that Jesus, right, Yahushua, could no more openly enter into the city, but was without in desert places, and they came to him for every quarter, man. Right? Every 3 hours there was more people coming, man. Right? And with that, man, right, another Shabbat class, another Shabbat lesson done, right? Shabbat services is finished. And I want to say Kwam Yasha Allah, right? Peace and blessings to all the families out there, right? Kwam Yasha Allah.